Right, hello. So this channel just reached 20,000 subscribers, which means that it has doubled in the past 6 months, which is really cool, and I'm really grateful for that. And I thought I would use this milestone as an opportunity to kind of re-evaluate and try to articulate, both for you that are watching but also for me myself, the goal with this channel moving forward. And I think it can be easy to focus too much on numbers, and you know, when you're starting off doing something you love, and starting from scratch, I think it can be a good thing to set numbers-based goals, because those are easy to follow up on and easy to measure. But when you start to get some progress and moving forward, I think you need to define more deeper goal that are rooted in something deeper. And I think the growth in numbers should just be a symptom of you working on those deeper goals. So that kind of begs the question then, what kind of deeper goal have I set for myself on this channel? And I don't really feel ready to articulate it, but on the other hand, I never really feel ready to publish anything on this channel. So you know, I always feel like I can do better, or that is not good enough. But you know, then you reach a point of diminishing returns, and you kind of just have to ship what you got and do that consistently and grow from there. So that is what I will be doing now when I try to formulate that deeper goal. And I would say that the key word here is the word intuition. And for me, the intuition in this context, what I mean is that spontaneous motivation to do something, the spontaneous motivation to try something new, the excitement to try something new and just kind of see what happens. That is what I mean with the word intuition in this context. And you know, a good example of this, obviously, for you that are watching this channel, is this channel. You know, it started off with me just being passionate about this style of guitar playing, and I felt like I had a good work ethic at the time, and I was kind of curious what would happen if I combined that passion with the good work ethic and just put it out there and kind of see what happens, not really knowing what would happen, but just kind of take it from there. And that is what I have been doing. And I feel like when you follow that intuition, you get like a lot of energy, and because you know that intuition is like a spontaneous burst of energy. You get spontaneously excited to try a new idea, so you get a lot of energy from following that, and you can get into really cool flow states, so you're really focused, and you get a real sense of clarity and a real sense of well-being and fulfillment, and that can be really cool and rewarding. Obviously those are quite meaningful things, I think. But on the flip side of that is that obviously you feel a lot of resistance. You know, it is quite uncomfortable to do what I'm doing, just starting out and just putting myself out there and not really knowing what I'm doing, and kind of just be humble about it and just take it step by step and not really knowing exactly the whole plan, you know. Knowing very little what will happen in advance. And what I found with this resistance is that it doesn't really go away. I find that when you start off, you feel resistance and you notice a lot of problems, and then the strategy obviously is to deal with those problems in a proactive way. But when you do that, what happens then, in my experience, is that you always get a new set of problems. And the insight for this is that when you get these new problems, you can look at it in two ways. You can either think there's something wrong and those problems shouldn't be there, or maybe you don't even acknowledge that you get these new problems, because they get more nuanced and subtle and can perhaps be hard to admit that they are even there. And that could perhaps make you quit what you're doing. But the way I see it is that those new problems are higher quality problems, and because of that, and because they will always be there, I think that these higher quality problems kind of show you the way of what the new challenge is, and what, you know, they just show you the way you should move forward, you know, in what you're doing. And if you look at it this way, it can kind of flip the whole dynamic completely. So instead of demotivating you, they instead motivate you to, you know, just moving things forward and you're not just looping the same behavior over and over, but instead moving things forward, you know. And yeah, so just to summarize what my goal is moving forward. I would say it is to build on that intuition, and doing that by solving those higher quality problems that arise. Just be mindful of what they can be and then try to work on those proactively. And I understand that what I just said can be quite vague and not too specific to this current situation, so I will at least try to make it more specific now in this end part of this video. And I kind of draw like a scheme here, or a diagram, or a diagram or a picture, trying to get this idea across. So I will try to explain it here, but the way I see it is that, like I said, it all starts with following your intuition, because that is the seed for the new idea that you want to try. But in order to make that seed grow, I find that it's exciting in the beginning with the new idea and everything, but in order to really make it grow to its full potential, I found that you always need to put in a lot of hard work and discipline and effort, and you always need to do things that you don't really feel like doing, and do that consistently in order to just make that seed grow, that intuitive idea grow. And what I've done for a long time, I feel like, is getting that intuitive idea and then working on it, and then typically it kind of fails or performs poorly in the external world, but it has always been really fulfilling to just try things and see what happens. And I've done that over and over and over with new ideas and all that for a long time. And now I kind of feel like I reached a point where I started to get, I guess everything is relative, but some moderate external success from this algorithm that I just described, this new idea, and I think that could, obviously that is really, really cool, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But I can also see a trap in that, and I think the trap here is that it's easy to now when you've found in like an algorithm, a way of doing things, it can be easy to now disregard new intuitive ideas, new seeds that are exciting to work on, and just focus entirely on discipline and work ethic, and just keeping this external success going. But the problem with that is that then you cut off that intuition, and what you got from that, like I said before, you get that energy and that excitement and that freshness and aliveness and that clarity and flow and all that, and that kind of gets cut off. And when that gets cut off, all you have to rely on is simply willpower to have the discipline to keep working on the same thing that gave that success, But if you do that, I think you can do that for a short time, but I don't think it's sustainable in the long run. So my channel here, my challenge here is to find that balance between that discipline and that work ethic and that momentum, but still being able to integrate new intuitive ideas and the things I feel like doing, and to find that balance. Because if I only focus on working on the discipline and just keeping the momentum up, then I get the problem I just described. It kind of takes away all the energy from it. But if I disregard all the momentum and everything and just do new things and new intuitive things and just go all the way there, then I feel like I will just spin my wheels and won't really be able to build towards something, So I think the challenge really here is to find a balance between these two, and this can be a really nuanced thing, because like the success recently has been these short form guitar videos, and it's not like it's not like I don't like doing these, and it's not like I can't be intuitive while doing these videos, because there are a lot of different parameters I can tweak to make it exciting for me, and to again feed that, or to feed that intuitive power or whatever. So it's not so black and white, there are a lot of gray areas with that. So that is what I'm doing, but I also have this sense that I want to try very radically different ideas, like the video I'm doing now. And perhaps this doesn't seem like it makes sense from an external perspective, but from a deeper perspective it makes a lot more sense, because all this is just feeding that excitement for just trying different ideas and kind of seeing what happens. And if you think about it, it was all that started what I was doing here on this channel with all the guitar videos in the first place, over like 10 years ago, or almost 10 years ago. So again, from an external perspective it seems like it doesn't make sense, but from an internal perspective, I'm just doing the same thing that I did like 9 years ago or something like that. So yeah, I kind of just felt like feeling that intuition and trying this idea out. And again, thank you very much for the support, and really cool with 20,000 subscribers. And yeah, we'll see if I manage to keep this balance up or not. And if I do, I think there would be a really interesting evolution of this channel, and if I don't, I guess I will simply fail. And I guess that is kind of the excitement of everything, that everything is always changing, and you always need to, you know, be mindful to not lose that balance that I just described. But I guess that is also what makes things interesting, because if it was obvious what was needed to be done exactly all the time in advance, you know, 20 years in advance, the whole step or the whole journey, if all that was planned out perfectly, I guess none of it would be that interesting. So yeah, I think this is all what I just described is what makes it all interesting. So yeah, that is what I want to say. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.